All right, today's video we're going to go over sentiment analysis in R. We're also going to be connecting to a SQL Server database. We have already created an ODBC connection that allows the library RODBC to connect to our local database. I've already uploaded a video on my channel. There'll be a link to it in the description titled, I believe it's connecting to SQL Server in R. All right. The data set that we'll be working with today is going to look something like this. It is a data set that mimics customer surveys. Customers who called into a call center were then surveyed afterward, and the reason code is what they originally called in about, and then the notes is in regard to what was actually said on the survey. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that data in the notes field and apply sentiment. We're going to strip out each word into its own row and then apply sentiment to it. All right, let's get started. We're using several of the packages we're using today are RODBC, split stack shape, dplyr, tidy text, ggplot2, word cloud, and reshape2. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our connection here. We're going to run this. Let's run our query. There will be on our GitHub, we will link in the description this data set, so if you want to recreate it, you can create it, check the description. It should take you out to our GitHub page, and then you can copy the SQL. So let's run this. And what this split stack shape is going to do is what we're going to separate each phrase or each paragraph from the notes field into a single row per word, so then we can then run that through our sentiment libraries and assign the value. In the event that you take a look at your data, so let me go ahead and run this. If you then come out to your data frame and you see in the notes field that there's something not being separated because of a special character, there wasn't a space, what I'm currently doing is I'm checking for space, and then I'm also checking separating it by the slash. If you see something like an and or a dash or a hyphen, you can then basically run this same line and just put the character right here. All right, let's clean up some of this data, remove some punctuation, and then now let's get into, we're going to take a quick look into our data set and see what the most common words are occurring. So you can see here's the top 100. If you just wanted to see like what's the top 10 or something like that, you can do it like that. And then now let's go ahead and convert this over to a tibble. All right, we have, looks like maybe 212, oh no, char tibble. All right, we've renamed the column notes to word. As you can see, we've stripped out each phrase or each paragraph into an individual word. Everything seems to be working. You can see customer ID 258, same date, so that was one record. Now I was late on my payment, and your rep assisted me quickly. All right. All right, here's where the magic is done with the sentiment. There are three types of sentiment you can do. Being is the first one. So we're going to take a look at this char tibble being, and you can see that we went from 212 observations to 14, and that means that the library, the Bing library, they've pre-populated a bunch of words that they've deemed positive or negative sentiment. So certain words like I, or also known as stop words, or even some of the other words that don't have a particular sentiment value, it's going to be excluded. So you can take a look at the frustrating, painful, helpful, nice. These all seem to be emotional or some sort of sentiment behind it. The other two libraries give you different approaches. They are, the second one is NRC. So let's rerun this. NRC, and this is an emotion, straight emotion sentiment package, and you can select the word late. It does create a Cartesian join, so you're going to get duplicate records, but the sentiment column is going to be unique. You can see late, the word late, it deems negative, sadness, painful, anger, disgust, fear, negative, sadness, and then helpful, joy, positive, trust. So that is a different type of sentiment package that you can run in here. Third one is afinn, and this is if you want to assign a mathematical value or like an integer. Let's take a look. And this one's down to 13, and you can see some of these scores are -1, -2, 3. What's good about this is in the event that you wanted to assign a mathematical value to a record. So, let's say you started out with a couple sentences, you break that down into a bunch of words, you assign the value to the words, and then you aggregate it back up to the sentence, and then you can sum up that score, and then that will be the score of the particular survey, and then you can then create an average. But for today's exercise, we're just going to use the bean package, positive, negative. Let's rerun this to get back to our tibble. Looking good. All right. Let's go in here and do some cleaning. Care tib count. So here we are down to the 13 records, and we're aggregating n being the aggregate. All right. So let's plot this. All right. I'm going to bring this over so you can see it. So what we have here is a ggplot of separating the negative and the positive, and then we're aggregating it on the y-axis by the reason code. Just so if you have a much larger data set, this data would be a little bit cleaner. It wouldn't be so targeted or highly focused. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to distribute this into our word cloud. So let's run this right here. I'll bring this over. And this is just a basic word cloud. The size of the word is on, the frequency of the word. And then, like I said before, if you have a much larger data set, these word clouds will look much better. You can then restrict how many words you want in the word cloud. Like I have here, 100. Being that I have less than 100 observations, it's not going to be an issue. But for you, it'll be fine. Now let's do the last word cloud. And what's good about this is it's going to separate the sentiment. We're going to color code it as well, and you can see that the negatives on top, the positives on the bottom. This whole R script will be located on our GitHub as well. It'll be in the description of this video. If you do have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks for following along, and like I said, check us out on GitHub, and have a great day. Thank you.